Nobody talks about what consistency really does to a human being. They talk about motivation, they talk about talent, they talk about luck, but they don't talk about the quiet danger of consistency. Because consistency doesn't just improve you, it changes you, it hardens you, it sharpens you, it removes parts of you that don't belong anymore. By the time people notice the results, they don't recognize the person who produced them. And that's exactly what 2026 is about. Not becoming loud, not becoming famous, not becoming motivational, but becoming unstoppable.
Consistency doesn't feel powerful in the beginning. In fact, it feels pointless. You show up and nothing happens. You repeat the work and no one notices. You stay disciplined and the results don't come fast enough to excite you. That's why most people quit. Not because the work is too hard, but because the reward is too quiet. Consistency has no fireworks, no applause, no instant validation, and the human brain hates that. Your brain wants novelty, it wants excitement, it wants proof now. Consistency offers none of that. It asks you to trust a process you cannot see yet, and most people are not built for invisible progress.
Motivation is emotional, and emotions are unreliable. You don't feel motivated every day. You don't feel confident every day. You don't feel strong every day. If your growth depends on how you feel, you will always stop when things get uncomfortable. Consistency doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're inspired. It doesn't care if you're confident. It only asks one question: did you show up? That's why consistency is dangerous. Because once you stop listening to your emotions, you stop being controlled by them. And most people never do that. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel inspired. Consistent people move anyway. Here's what no one tells you. Consistency doesn't just improve skill, it rewires identity. When you do something once, it's an action. When you do it twice, it's a habit. When you do it daily, it becomes who you are. And identity is powerful. A person who tries to work hard can quit. A person who is disciplined doesn't negotiate. That's how monsters are built. Not overnight, not through intensity, but through repetition so boring that weak versions of you die quietly. Every day you show up when it's inconvenient, you kill the version of you that quits easily. Every day you work without recognition, you kill the version of you that needs validation. Every day you choose effort over comfort, you kill the version of you that stays average. And something else replaces it. Something colder, calmer, more dangerous. Most people want results without becoming the person who earns them. They want confidence without discipline. They want success without structure. They want freedom without responsibility. Consistency demands all of that. It demands patience. It demands humility. It demands silence. That's why people avoid it, because consistency exposes weakness. You can't fake consistency. You can't post consistency. You can't explain consistency. You either showed up or you didn't. And excuses don't survive repetition. That's why consistency feels uncomfortable. It removes all lies. 2026 is not going to separate people loudly. There won't be an announcement, there won't be a warning. It will happen quietly. The consistent will keep moving while everyone else negotiates. The consistent will keep training while everyone else explains. The consistent will keep building while everyone else scrolls. And one day, without drama, the gap will be too large to ignore. People will ask, how did you change so much? They didn't see the days you didn't feel like it. They didn't see the boredom. They didn't see the discipline. They only see the monster at the end. Here's another truth. Consistency kills fear. When you show up every day, fear loses its power. You stop fearing failure because you're too busy working. You stop fearing judgment because you're too focused to care. You stop fearing time because you trust the process. Fear survives in uncertainty. Consistency creates certainty. You know what you'll do tomorrow. You know who you are becoming. You know you won't quit. That certainty is terrifying to anyone who lives emotionally. Here's another truth. Consistency kills fear. When you show up every day, fear loses its power. You stop fearing failure because you're too busy working. You stop fearing judgment because you're too focused to care. You stop fearing time because you trust the process. Fear survives in uncertainty. Consistency creates certainty. You know what you'll do tomorrow. You know who you are becoming. You know you won't quit. That certainty is terrifying to anyone who lives emotionally. You don't need a perfect plan. You need one non-negotiable, one action you do daily, regardless of mood, one promise you keep even when it's boring. Consistency doesn't require intensity. It requires honesty. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding because it doesn't feel exciting? That's where your growth is. Do it daily. Do it quietly. Let 2026 meet a version of you that doesn't need motivation anymore. Consistency is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't post updates. It doesn't seek approval. But given enough time, it creates something undeniable. A person who doesn't stop. A person who doesn't negotiate. A person who doesn't break. If this message made you uncomfortable, that's your sign. Go to the comments and write one habit you will stay consistent with in 2026. Not a goal, a behavior. Like the video if you're done waiting for motivation. Share it with someone who keeps starting over. Subscribe if you're ready to become unrecognizable. Because consistency doesn't just change your life, it turns you into a monster.